My name is Dr. Austin Tay, and you are listening to Psych Chat. Welcome to episode 47 of Psych Chat, the podcast where we discuss work-related issues and provide tips on navigating the complex world of work. I'm your host, Dr. Austin Tay. Welcome to all new listeners of this podcast. Remember to subscribe to catch up on previous episodes and get notified when new ones are released. And to our existing subscribers, welcome back. Do leave us a review if you are enjoying the show. Your feedback helps us create content that matters to you. Today, we are diving into a topic that affects many of our listeners, dealing with narcissistic personalities in the workplace. I will discuss what a narcissistic personality or disorder is in the workplace, the impact of this type of personality on co-workers and organization, and then practical strategies. Recent research by Weinberg and Bronstam shows that narcissistic personality disorder affects about 1 to 2% of the general population. But this number jumps to between 1.3% and 20% in clinical populations. Have you ever worked with someone who constantly needs admiration, takes credit for others' work, or seems incapable of accepting criticisms? Send us your thoughts using hashtag #PsychChat47. Let's break this down into 3 sections. Number 1, understanding workplace narcissism, impact on co-workers and organizations, and number 3, practical strategies for survival. Section 1. Understanding workplace narcissism. Recent research has identified 2 distinct types of narcissism that show up in the workplace: grandiose and vulnerable narcissism. According to Dozesmoon and Kayonis, managers show higher levels of grandiose narcissism and lower levels of vulnerable narcissism compared to the general population. A fascinating meta-analysis by York and colleagues found that when levels of grandiose narcissism are high, both grandiose and vulnerable features tend to co-occur within the same individual. These manifest as grandiose features: 1. Excessive self-promotion. 2. Interpersonal dominance. 3. Attention-seeking behaviors. 4. Leadership emergence. And 5. High self-esteem. The vulnerable features are: 1. Hypersensitivity to criticism. Number 2, emotional volatility. Number 3, covert feelings of inadequacy. Number 4, passive-aggressive behaviors. And number 5, defensive withdrawal. Research done by Liu and colleagues has identified specific workplace triggers that can activate either grandiose or vulnerable manifestations, particularly in response to 1. Workplace incivility, 2. Performance feedback, 3. Team dynamics, 4. Leadership challenges, and number 5. Social comparison situations. Section 2. Impact on co-workers and organizations. Recent research reveals concerning patterns in workplaces with narcissistic individuals. According to Wang and colleagues, narcissistic behaviors lead to organizational level impacts such as increased workplace incivility, higher turnover rates, reduced team collaboration, decreased organizational citizenship behavior, and compromised psychological safety. A comprehensive study by Moon and Moraes found that exposure to narcissistic behaviors results in individual level impacts such as increased emotional exhaustion, higher levels of workplace anxiety, reduced job satisfaction, decreased creative performance, and lower organizational commitment. A research by Gui and colleagues has identified specific mechanisms through which narcissistic behaviors affect workplace dynamics. Direct effects include manipulation of information flow, credit stealing behaviors, emotional resource depletion, creation of hostile work environments. Indirect effects include erosion of trust, breakdown of team cohesion, development of defensive work practices, and increased workplace stress. If you are experiencing these challenges at work, you are not alone. Share your experiences using #WorkplaceMPD. Section 3. Practical strategies for survival. Drawing from recent research, let's explore evidence-based strategies for managing narcissistic workplace relationships. Evidence-based communication strategies. Research by Weinberg and Ronistam emphasizes 1. Using clear, factual communication. 2. Maintaining detailed documentation. 3. Employing strategic empathy. And 4. Setting firm professional boundaries. Protective measures. based on findings from Day and colleague. Number 1, establish clear professional boundaries. Number 2, create support networks. Number 3, maintain detailed records of interaction. And number 4, develop emotional distance strategies. Professional development focus. Studies by Ramsey Haynes recommend: number 1, enhancing emotional intelligence. Number 2, building resilience capabilities. Number 3, developing conflict management skills. And number 4, strengthening professional networks. Organizational support systems, research by Gui and colleagues, suggests: number 1, utilizing formal reporting structures. Number 2, engaging with HR systems appropriately. Number 3, building alliances with colleagues. And number 4, creating safety networks. Self-protection strategies. According to Moon and Morris, number 1, maintain professional boundaries. Number 2, document all interactions. And number 3, build external support system. Number 4, develop stress management techniques. What strategies have worked for you? Share your success stories using #MPD at work. So what are the key takeaways? Number 1, recognition and understanding. Identify both grandiose and vulnerable narcissistic traits. Understand situational triggers. Recognize impact patterns. Number 2, protection and prevention. Implement documentation practices. Maintain professional boundaries. Build support networks. Develop emotional resilience. Number 3, professional development. Enhance emotional intelligence. Improve communication skills. Develop conflict management abilities. Build strategic thinking capabilities. Number 4, organizational awareness. Understand power dynamics. Recognize systemic patterns. Identify available resources. Know when to seek help. Before we wrap up, remember that while we can't change others, we can change how we respond to them. I hope you have enjoyed this episode, and if you do have any comments or suggestions, do send them to sitechat@omnisci.com or tweet to site_chat. You have been listening to Site Chat. This podcast is brought to you by Omnisci Consulting. We are a team of psychologists with a wealth of experience working with individuals, teams, and organizations in coaching, executive selection, assessment and development, career transitioning, and workplace intervention. Omnisci Consulting exists to solve the critical issues facing our clients, both large and small. Our approach is to tailor-make each service to meet the requirements of our clients. Our broad range of services and solutions helps individuals and organizations to facilitate change, achieve their vision, and optimize performance and productivity.